How's it going, guys? I have a story to tell that is part of my recovery. Dealing with this for 10 years, there's so many things that has happened. And a lot of things I forget about, and you only just, 10 years is a long time, guys. And this is going back maybe 8 years now, so probably 5 years into my disorder, this story is coming from. These things comes up because when I'm talking to people that I'm coaching now, and I'm bringing them, they say things to me and they're like, Glenn, did this ever happen to you, or is that? And I'm like, yeah, I actually did. It's revert me back, bring me back to stories and situations that happened like in my first or second year, like dealing with this, which is like, 13, 10, 12, 13 years ago. And it just brings me back and we're like, wow, shit. There was so much that I totally just forgot about, or just, it's over now and I don't have to think about it anymore. But speaking with people more often now is bringing these moments up, and something came across me today. I was like, I'm gonna make a video on this. So guys, after 5 years struggling with this, I decided I want to see a psychiatrist. And I went to my doctor, listen, I want to see a psychiatrist. I'm dealing with this 5 years now. I feel like it's getting worse. I'm having been on buses, trains, I'm afraid to go into the city centre. I'm missing out on birthdays, I'm missing out on Mother's Day things from my mum and stuff. I'm done with it, I'm sick of it. Get me a psychiatrist. So he agrees, and he the next day he texts me, Glenn, come over, there's psychiatrist will be here at 10 a.m. in the morning. I go over, I sit in this room with this lady, and she says to me, basically at the end of it, like it's like an hour long, probably more, and she's trying to like figure me out and shit like that, and it's quite easy to figure out because I didn't have a mental health disorder. I had anxiety, panic attacks that stemmed into agoraphobic tendencies. So she tells me, Glenn, okay, this is what you have, and she explained that. She says, Glenn, the best option for you is to go to someone who does mindfulness. And I'm thinking, why, like breathing isn't going to help me. She says, no, it's going to give you a structure, and mindfulness is different. She said it will bring you back to the present moment. If you do it over time, it will regulate your nervous system because you're stuck in fight and flight. Okay, sounds good, let's do it. So every Wednesday I decided, oh no, the person she recommended, she gave me a list of like 6 people, and it was like the city centre, and I'm thinking, well, I clearly can't get fucking in there, so I'm gonna have to choose the closest one, which is like literally 1 kilometre away. Okay, great. So I go up to this place, I see the psychiatrist on the Monday, and I went up on the Wednesday, 2 days later, and I met an amazing teacher, Noreen, and she's fantastic. So my first night in this place, I go up, and it's literally like I cycle my bike up. I leave and cycle my bike up for 7, I think it was 7 o'clock every night. I literally get there in less than a minute, less than 2 minutes. I go in there, and it's a mindfulness, you're lying down and body scan. It's a beautiful scent. And I'm in there, and I'm not even down on the ground 5 minutes, and I'm sitting up and I'm looking around, and everyone's just peaceful. I'm thinking, fuck, like, I'm so jealous. So I get up and I leave the place, and I'm like, I'm walking around the place. I'm just thinking like, panic. I just feel like I'm in constant panic. I just can't sit still. I just want to like retreat. I can't be in there, even though I was only like 2 minutes down the road. Anyway, long story short, I'm in there, and I don't miss a night. I'm in there for a good couple of months without missing a night. Hail, rain or snow, every Wednesday. I haven't missed it in months. And Noreen, the teacher, says, right, we're going to do an MBSR course coming up. It's an 8-week program for those. It's a John Kabat-Zinn model. John Kabat-Zinn is basically someone who's integrated mindfulness into modern medicine, stuff like that, like a couple of years ago. And John Kabat-Zinn is like, people were sent to him with high stressful conditions and like literally told there's no cure or whatever. And he basically brought them, I think it was in Massachusetts General Hospital. There was no place for this trial, but he brought them all down to, underground into the basement basically, and done all this testing on them, like just lie down. He put them in this relaxing set, and he'd reset their nervous system through breathing techniques for an hour or longer, and it changed their stress response. So yeah, people started to put this into hospitals and stuff like that. So he was the guy, and this was John Kabat-Zinn model that I was doing, which basically is you have to meditate or relax or do certain breathing, whatever you want to call it, for 1 hour a day, every single day for 8 weeks. And you have to make that commitment with yourself. I'm going to do this every single day for 1 hour a day, 8 weeks. And I'd be doing it every day. Like I'd go into my family and be like, listen, don't come into the kitchen. If you want to have something now, go in and make something now. Go in and make your dinner and don't be coming in like putting the lights on and don't disturb me. And like I was just just mad into the mindfulness for 8 weeks. But here's where the story begins. So, as you know, at this point in time, I'm just fully agoraphobic. I'm not getting on buses. I'm not getting on trains. I'm not getting in cars. I haven't done any sort of exposures. I'm being like literally fear and panic in situations right in my comfort zone. So at the end of the 8 weeks, we have to go on a retreat. And the retreat is literally, guys, 15 minutes in the car, which is probably like 10K. 15 minutes in the car was literally the place to the retreat. And I was up all night terrified. And I texted the mindfulness teacher at 2 a.m. I remember it clearly. Noreen, just want to let you know that I can't make this. I'm just not ready to go in a car. I can't do it. I have no way to get up. She rings me 2 o'clock in the morning. And I couldn't believe that she called me, that she was still awake. She says, Glenn, you're going. I was like, Noreen, no, seriously, I can't go. I'm not ready. I'm not up for it. Like, I'm too scared. I feel like panic attacks. I won't be able to relax in the car. She says, Glenn, you're going to come with me. I'm going to collect you first thing in the morning. I'll be outside your house. And then she sends me a beautiful message after it and reassures me. So I didn't sleep all night. Like had probably an hour of sleep. I drifted off at like 5. Wake up at 7 and she's outside. And I swear I'm a nervous wreck. I'm just like, feel sick. I haven't eaten. I'm like, from the stress over the 5 years, I'm just, even though the mindfulness has helped me so much, I'm just not ready to do this. So we get in the car then and literally we get onto the coast road. There's no moving traffic because it's so early. And look, Noreen, pull over. I can't do this. I feel sick. I feel like my heart racing. And Noreen, she pulls over and she's like, and I said, no, and seriously turn the car around, I want to go home. And I had my hand on the steering wheel and she panicked and she just, Glenn, don't do that. You know, that we're on the road, you're okay, we're only 5 minutes. And I just fucking wanted to turn the steering wheel around. Jesus Christ, anyway, we made it anyway and I get out. And here I am looking around, I can't believe I'm here. And it's only 50 minutes of the road and I think, oh, what an achievement. But my nervous system just doesn't shut off. I'm panicking, I feel sick. I feel like ringing an ambulance. I feel like my heart's not going to stop. I'm just all over the place, just spiking full of trauma. This was a traumatic experience for me. And with that then, we go into the meditation, we're sitting down, there's 20 people. Everyone's relaxing, it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful setting. The sun is shining. It's right at the coast of Dublin. You see the boats, you see blue water. It's just so beautiful. And I am in here and I'm a nervous wreck. I can't enjoy anything. We're not even 5 minutes into it and I get up and I leave. And I go into the next room and I'm in there in bits and I just, my stomach and I can't cope and everything's going through my mind. It was absolutely awful. So we got there at 8 a.m. and we left at 6 p.m. My body was in a state of panic, adrenaline flooding around my body with all these mad thoughts for 10 hours, including the night before and the previous 5 months. So just think about that, how resilient your body is. Because I know a lot of people that's just identical what you're going through right now. And that was a very hard experience for me. That was one of the longest I stayed in, like real trauma, like usually I'd go in, feel whatever, and then retreat home. So this is the first time I've been in that situation. I flooded myself. But it wasn't just an hour flooding, it was 10 hours of that. 10 hours of that. And then when I got home then I was like, oh, I just remember sitting in the car going home. I was so tired, but I was also thinking, this is amazing, like, this is great, I can't believe I've done that, and I'm proud of myself, and this and that, and I got home at 6 p.m, I was asleep on the couch by 6:30, gone for the night, absolutely drained, but part of me was just totally traumatised from the event. It took so much out of me, I wasn't prepared at all, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. I just flooded myself for 10 hours, it was absolutely horrible. And I remember my friend was coming up to me. She also had her problems with anxiety, and panic attacks, and it wiped her out as well. But she's obviously doing fantastic now. But I remember her coming up to me and saying, Glenn, you're like literally, like, I don't know how you've done that. You're literally the strongest person I've ever met in my whole entire life, bar none. And I was like, that is just like, I was like, you know, I don't know how I've done it myself. I really don't. And she was coming up to me like, you okay? And I was just rattling, like, I'm having these thoughts. And then like she was coming up to me during the retreat, like constantly checking up on me, see how I am, because she understood, she got it, she understood exactly what I'm going through. And at the end of it, like the next day, I was like, Glenn, I can't believe you actually done that. Like you're just incredible. Like, and I was like, Aoife, this is the start for me. I want to get my life back now. And you know, she was fantastic. And with that, then I thought like that was it. I thought that's what you have to do. I went through it now. This is recovery. I have to do those things. And but what happened was, I said, I am so tired and drained from what I just did. I literally did nothing then for the next couple of weeks. So I literally put my body through all that for nothing, because number one, like that was no way to recondition the mind. There was no discipline, there was no plan. There was just, I went in there, flooded myself for 10 hours, felt exhausted, and didn't do fuck all for the next God knows how long. And then as soon as the MBSR course was over, which was meditating every day for 8 weeks, as soon as that was over, boom, all went, no discipline again. And my problems then went on for another 5 years. You know, so I thought going into that place, when I got home that day, I went through my biggest fears and nothing happened to my body. And I thought to myself, that's it. Nothing happened to me. I just went through the most horrible, painful experience that I have since I've had this disorder. I'm out of the woods now. But no, I didn't know how to recover. I thought that was the way. What should have happened was, during the 8 weeks, knowing that I'm going to go to that place on the 8th week, what I should have done was have small integrated steps of flooding does work. Flooding is sometimes great, but for me, I needed a slower approach. So for me, I could have done small steps in a car, going 5 minutes up the road, turning back. The next day, up, turning back, and that's how you approach it. Then on the 4th, 5th week, I'm actually in the spot where we're going to be doing the retreat in the next 3 weeks. And I'll have that experience of being in there. And then over time, I'm actually in the retreat and I'm not experiencing that flood of adrenaline that like when I make, but I had no plan. And that's what happened to me with the jogging. I was terrified. I took small, simple steps every single day. I was petrified to jog less than 1 kilometre from home. Within 5 months, I was doing a half marathon around Dublin. And that just shows what recovery is. It's discipline, guys. Recovery is discipline. No matter how small of a step you think you're making, you get out every day. You know, of course, like there was days where I actually just sat in and done nothing on my recovery. But I never went more than 2 days, guys, because that's just, you're going back into those habits. You're going back into fear. You're going back into stay in resistance, stay comfortable, stay. Be safe. Be safe from what? Anxiety sensations? That's just stopping you from living life. Be safe from what? Protect yourself from what? This isn't going to kill you. All you're doing, the worst it's going to get. The worst anxiety, panic attacks, what it does to you, the worst is it makes you miss out on life. That's the worst it can get. You know, so if you can integrate yourself slowly back into these things and desensitize yourself, or, you know, get used to these responses in your body, the thoughts of being outside your comfort zone, that's the key. And to me, mine was sped up by running, because running basically was a panic attack. I was jogging with this panic in my body into these places. And eventually, like, I was terrified, and over the course of every month passed by, within the 5 months, I felt my anxiety level starting from 10s. Within the 3rd month, I was there on 5s, so I was sleeping better. Within the 5th month, I was literally on 0. I had 0 anxiety waking up every day. Why? Because I had a plan. My mind literally didn't fear panic anymore. I was getting my job back. Everything was just beautiful. I can't explain it. So I hope this video puts some, you know, I basically just want to let people know that when you're in that fight and flight response, like I was in it for 10 hours, guys, the worst you can, like horrible, just heightened, just wanted to go home, wanted to just crawl into my bed, and I just had no way to go home. The worst, just feeling stuck for 10 hours and nothing happened to me. And nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen to your heart. You won't go insane, you'll just feel fucking awful. And that's it, guys. That's just a quick video I wanted to make. It brought me back to that moment of like, yeah, Jesus Christ, I went through that for 10 hours of like, and I've had worse times, like, you know, I've had this for nearly every single day for a long time. But that experience really stuck out to me. And it really showed me about recovery, that I literally thought that I could do that. And when I got home from that day, I was like, right, I think I'm gonna be recovered now, because I'd done that. And literally when I done that, I done nothing after. I done the same behaviours, adopted the same behaviours day in, day out. Just because I made that one trip and felt good for a couple of hours, The next day I was resting and thinking my body needed rest, and